Well, the weekend has come to a close, but we do not end things here. As for today, we're going to be reviewing two reviews. The first one is from MARIGOLD with more with Rising Spirit. However, I did not see day 5 in case anybody would ask me, because we're going to focus on day 6 because this one features the debut of the icon Mayu Iwatani. Yes, that's right, folks. If you guys remember, recently Mayu Iwatani left Stardom after 14 years, and now she joined Marigold. Her opponent is none other than Nana Takahashi, who used to be her senpai back in the day, in the early days of Stardom. So we'll see how things will roll up in that match. And then, of course, we'll be reviewing the other matches as well. But after that, we're going to be, of course, reviewing New Japan with Night 2 of Wrestling Dontaku. This one, of course, featured many matches, but there is a double main event. The first one is, of course, the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Yota Tsuji defends his championship against someone that he knew back in the day when they were in the same class at the dojo, none other than Yuya Uemura. So that's going to be, of course, a very interesting match. And as for our main event, it's going to be Hiroki Goto defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against the youngest member of the United Empire and the man who claims that he wants to be the first and the one who defeat Hiroki Goto, Cal Newman. So the obvious question is, will the revolution of Goto continues, or Cal Newman will prove everybody wrong, as everybody's been doubting him ever since he made this claim? Well, we just have to wait and see. But after that, of course, as always, we will cap up our episode with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or nice comments in the description down below. Now, enough with the yapping. It's time to, of course, fly ahead. So let's begin, of course, with Marigold with day 6 of Rising Spirit. Okay, Marigold, day 6 of Rising Spirit. Now, I have not seen day 5 yet, but this one was important because, as you all know, this was the debut show for Mayu Iwatani making her appearance since she left, of course, Stardom. But we'll get to that because that's our main event. Now, our first match, we have 6-woman tag team match. We have Nagisa Tachibana, Ryoko Sakimura, and Minami Yuki. They take on Komomo Minami, Rei Seto, and Hummingbird. Now, recently there have been questions about, of course, from the commentators coming from Stu and Sonny himself, talking about how Nagisa Tachibana and Ryoko Sakimura were not getting along that very well. But the real question is, can they pull it off on this match? Well, at first they made the initial attack against their opponents, which was effective. But however, things did not go according to plan for them because it was Komomo who picked up the win um, by pinning Tachibana, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over. Oh yeah, on a note here that I failed to mention, those who may have seen, Komomo Minami has finally have a new gear, kind of different. She kind of traded all black for a bit of a colorful style, but nothing wrong with it. Next match, we have, of course, a three-way. We have Riara versus Arina Yamanaka versus Nao Shikawa, who we haven't seen for quite some time. So basically, she is back. So the real question is how things have been going for her. Well, we don't know. But we did see moments where, of course, with Riara and Yamaoka, for those who don't know, in real life, those two are real best friends. And they initially decided to do a 2-on-1 against Nao Shikawa. But now Shikawa was able to defy all the odds against her, so she was able to isolate Yamanaka and focus on Riara when she applied, of course, and Sentai Powerbomb, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's done. So Shikawa picked up the win. Next up, we have another 6-woman tag team match. We have Darkness Revolution, Megaton, Chiaki, and Nagisa Nozaki. They take on Chanyota, Chikagoto, and Natsumi Shozuki. Now, of course, the commentators made a valid point about certain things about this match. Many people were saying that Megaton has been responsible for many of Darkness Revolution's losses. So basically, things have not been going well. There are people saying that Darkness Revolution are falling in the cracks. But however, Megaton has been looked at as recently the weakest link of the group, which obviously she did. Apparently, she ended up in a submission move by Chikagoto. Basically, she forced her to tap out, and just like that, well, of course, Nagisa and Chiaki, they just left her in the dust. Like, well, you're on your own, girl. Bye bye. Just like that. However, in the middle of the ring during the post match, Chikagoto went on saying that she's been hearing that her former tag partner and current GHC Women's Champion, Kyoki Omori, will be making her return on May 24th. So basically, in Yaoyogi. So she issued a challenge for her. Now, she never specified if this is for the GHC Championship. That is something she hasn't mentioned. But we'll see how things will roll out for that. I can't wait. So we'll follow that. Our next match, we have Kizuna Tanaka versus Miku Anu. Now, this was a match that kind of set upon earlier in the start of this tour. If you guys remember, there was that one match that features, of course, Marvelous vs. Marigold. Kizuna Tanaka, as you know, refused to, of course, let it slide. But however, she felt that she needs to step up her game. So what better way to someone who has more experience and been a force to be reckoned with since arriving to Marigold, of course, Miku Anu. But man, Kazuna Tanaka really stepped up her game a little bit. But unfortunately, that didn't do any well for her because she ended up on the wrong side of the Styles Clash by Miku Anu. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next up, we have the Marigold United National Championship match. Mitsa Matsui issued a challenge not too long ago for this title. Mai Sakurai, as you know, well, she's always up for the challenge no matter what. But of course, when it comes to Mitsa Matsui, for those who do know this, she is a member of Darkness Revolution. Of course, the Nagisa Nozaki and Chiaki, along with hopefully if Megaton was there, well, they would have make sure that this match falls in their favor. Of course, they were going to do dirty tricks, dirty tactics to ensure that this match falls in her favor. Well, it kind of almost did, but Mai Sakurai, well, she was able to pick up the win. However, she had this match won when she applied the Glorious Driver, which is a move that she inherited with the blessing of her former mentor and friend, Julia. But however, she wanted to punish her by using a very interesting submission move. And just like that, Misa Matsui taps out and Mai Sakurai retained the belt. During the post match, she had some things to say to Misa Matsui. I'm sure they might have been, of course, certain things that she pointed out. But however, that wasn't over until many of you may not know her. Her name is Shino um, Omukai. Those who don't know who she is, Shino Mukai made her appearance last year, but it was during the summer due to the fact that she was still in training. But she had to leave because she was going back to school, and now it seems that she's making a return. But interesting fact about McCoy, her mother is Michiko Makai, and here's the best part. Shino and Kiza Tanaka know each other very well because both their moms are wrestlers. So that kind of sets it up right there. But however, now Shino Makai has returned back to Marigold. She asked Mai Sakurai to be her debut opponent in, of course, at Yoyogi on May 24th. Now, she did not specify she wants a shot at the belt, so she chose her as her opponent. So, of course, Mai Sakurai is looking forward to it, so we'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll keep up until that day happens. Now, our next match, you can call this a preliminary match until we reach Yoyogi. We have, of course, Seri Yamaoka and Mirai versus Victoria Yuzuki and Utami Ayashida. For those who do know, Utami Ayashida will defend her championship on May 24th against Mirai. So basically, this is one of those matches where who's going to build up the momentum going all the way to the 24th in Yoyogi. So we'll see. But of course, this is going to be an intense match between both Mirai and Utami Ayashida. But in the end, it was Utami Ayashida who picked up the win when she applied the hijack bomb onto Mirai, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So of course they had the post match and they had some words to say. So we'll see what happens until we reach Yoyogi. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Now for our main event, which we've been expecting and waiting for, we have the Passion Countdown. We have Nanane Takahashi. Passion! Yep. She takes on, of course, the icon, Mayu Iwatani, making her Marigold debut. Now, before I proceed, there's something you guys need to know if you guys saw this or not. I was paying attention what the English commentators were talking about. Sonny Gutierrez, if you guys know who he is, he back in the day used to run the English stuff for, of course, for Stardom, and many people blame them for the delay that Stardom were suffering because of it. Sonny, if you guys know this, he left Stardom, followed Rossi to Marigold and all that. However, he did stated something that was interesting. He called Marigold her home, and I was like, when I heard that, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And that's when he revealed that when word was getting out about what's going on, well, of course, Mayu Iwatani said that she's planning to go. She wanted to go to Marigold, but however, because she was the IWGP Women's Champion and she was working on the biopic of Runaway Wrestler, which based on her life, she couldn't do it. Now that that's all done and she lost the IWGP Women's Championship to Shuri, that gave her the opportunity. So Sunny was saying now that Marigold is now her home. So it would make sense. But what makes this match interesting and makes it more memorable, those who know this, Nanane Takahashi was known as the first ever World of Stardom champion. And she was also Mayu Iwatani's senpai, which means she was her mentor. And now she is facing her. But I have to say, Nanane Takahashi, who is a veteran throughout the welcome wagon, basically did not take her lightly. She just, went out ahead, tried to put her in the deep end, everything she threw at her. And of course, we did see a little challenge while they have chairs and they just slap each other in the face. And you probably would think, would Mayu Iwatani pick up her usual moves? I mean, she tried the dragon suplex. It didn't work. Uh, Frog splash, moonsault, but she was able to apply her Karana, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So in the post match, of course, Mayu had some words to say. She talked to Nane, apologizing, calling her something, and of course, all of that. And then Nane thought the same thing too. However, Victoria Yuzuki, as you know, many of you may not know this. Victoria Yuzuki used to be a member of Stars, and she admires Mayu when she first joined, and now that she left, uh, she has now been succeeding. However, for those who don't know this, Mayu Iwatani stated that she wants to be the first Grand Slam winner to obtain all belts that MARIGOLD has to offer. And of course, Victoria Yuzuki, as you know, she is the current Superfly champion. Well, she's not an idiot. She actually heard it completely. So she nominates her for her championship at possibly in Yoyogi. So we'll see about that. And then, of course, Miku Anu shows up. Presuming I thought she would definitely want to have a shot of Mayu, but it seems that she had other plans. She wants to challenge Nana Takahashi, but she wants to be her final opponent at the Yoyogi event that would take place on May 24th. So Nana Takahashi says, there's a lot of opponents that still want a piece of her, but she'll think about it. So we'll see how things will go. And of course, the show closes with Nana Takahashi and Mayu doing the Marigold words. I don't know, but yeah, pretty good show. Not gonna lie. I mean, seeing Mayu's interesting, a bit weird but interesting. But I'm sure she's going to do well. And of course, many of us notice how happy she is because, as you know, I mentioned Rossi's like a father to her. She was the one, he was the one who gave her everything, even helped her out to ensure that she continues with her career, always had her back, and that sort of thing. So we'll see how things will go with Mayu in Marigold, and I'm sure we know that things will go well. But there'll be more about her coming up about it. I think we will talk certain things about her on the news update. So stay tuned for that. So right now, let's end things here with Marigold and move on with New Japan Pro Wrestling. All right, New Japan Pro Wrestling Night 2 of Wrestling Dontaku, their latest show they just put out. Let's start with an interesting kickoff. They've been talking about a promotion that's from the area called Kyosho Pro Wrestling. This one features, of course, Tajiri. Many of you know this, and of course, many of you may not know this so well. Stardom star Yuna Mizumori trained with Tajiri in the past, recently last year. But we'll get to more about that at some other point. But let's talk about this match. This one had a kickoff show featuring Katsuya Murashima teaming up with Ryosuke Taguchi taking on Jet Wee, don't know who he is, and his partner named Hidamura Zazaki. Don't know much about them. Now, I did review their promotion of about maybe 2 years ago. Pretty good one, not gonna lie. But yeah, nothing too special about it. But this match ended with, of course, with Murashima and Taguchi winning, thanks to Taguchi applying a ankle lock on Jet Wee, and just like that, Jet had no choice but to tap out, just like that. Now let's jump into the main card of this event. It opened up with the War Dogs, consistent of Geto and Taiji Shimori, who I'm sure that they were okay after the beatdown they went through in the steel cage. They faces another wrestlers from the very area named Batten Blabla and Matai Kid. Not gonna lie, there was some funny moments that this guy blah blah was putting out, but unfortunately, because of his own selfish ways, he ended up in the ghetto clutch by Taiji Shimori, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next up, we have the United Empire, consisting of Jacob Austin Young and the Great Khan taking on Yoshihashi and one half of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Master Wato. What's interesting, as you know, because they were actually on the opposite side. But of course, the obvious question how this was going to roll down. Well, Jacob Austin Young ended up on the wrong side of the, what's it called? Kaku German suplex, a German suplex hold, which is like a German suplex, but just like that, Master Wato defeated by using that on Jacob Austin Young, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next up, we have some Stardom talent in a very interesting match. We have Yuna Mizumori from the Cosmic Angels. She teams up with the members of Neo Genesis, consistent of Azumi and Starlight Kid, while they take on, of course, Fukuoka's very own Maika and members of Stars and tag team known as FWC, Koguma and Azuki. Now, of course, many of you may not know this, that Maika, this is one of Maika's last few matches because she'll be taking some time off to deal with an elbow injury that she's been dealing with for the past couple years. But of course, you cannot forget that Maika and Azuki and Koguma are from the same region. So that kind of makes them like, okay, together they're an unstoppable force, which they did. Uh, but it was in fact, what's her name? Azuki that walked away with the win when she applied a very strong brain buster on Yuna Mizumori. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Maika and Azuki and Koguma walked away with the win. Next up, we have Boltin Oleg teaming up with El Fantasmo to take on the Don Callis family, Rocky Romero and Konosuke Takeshita. Of course, Stu Walker and Chris Carlton cannot believe that Rocky has turned sides with that snake in the grass, Don Callis, of course. And of course, they revealed that they seem they got their sights set on Boltin Oleg, that sort of thing. But however, this is another match that leads to another match between both Konosuke Takeshita and El Fantasmo. It's a winner takes all type of match for both the New Japan World Television title and the Never Openweight Championship. So that kind of leads us to that. However, Boltin Oleg picked up the win when he applied the kamikaze on Rocky because he got pancaked. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Boltin Oleg picked up the win for himself and for Phantasmo. Next up, we have TMDK, consistent of Hartley Jackson, Rohei Oiwa, Kosen Fujita, Robbie Eagles, and Zack Sabre Jr. They take on Tajiri and Rota Chukinsin. They team up with Yo and of course Toru Yano and Hiroshi Tanahashi, which was very interesting. Now it turns out Tanahashi has teamed up with Taiji Shimura in the past because apparently when Taiji teams up with Tanahashi, they're an unstoppable force. But one thing that was interesting, of course, Tajiri did give the green mist to Hartley Jackson enough time for Tanahashi to put him away with, of course, with the high five flow. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Tanahashi picked up the win for his team. Now, our next match, we have a very interesting one. We have, of course, Taka Michinoku and Taichi teaming up with both Tomohiro Ishii and, of course, Shota Umino, taking on LIJ, which is the last match featuring Bushi and Naito, teaming up with what's their name, Shingo and Hiromu. So you obviously question how this is gonna be. I mean, a lot of factors could roll into this match, no matter what. But Naito did deliver the last Destino onto onto Taichi, and this gives enough time for Shingo to apply the Burning Dragon onto Taka Michinoku, and just like that, it was over. However, during the post match, well, I think many people will question, what does this mean? Well, of course, they didn't have no men's to words. So what they did is they do the Finspap, which means the unity of Los Ingorbenables. So basically, they just like that. Now, our next match, this is for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Yota Tsuji makes his defense against Yuya Uemura. Now, for those who know this, these two were part of the same class together in the dojo. Not the LA dojo, in case anybody asks. The same dojo in Japan, where New Japan they train many of their young lions. But of course, at a certain time when everybody reached at the time of excursion, they go their separate ways. Yu Uemura ended up going to the LA dojo, training under Shibata, while Yota Tsuji ended up going to the UK to Ref Pro. So that kind of sets it up right there. And of course, at times sooner their paths would cross. And now that Yota Tsuji is succeeding as the global heavyweight champion, that leads it up right there. However, I mean, there were great moments in this match where they went went on ahead, but unfortunately, it was the Gene Blaster by Yota Tsuji that picked up the win, and just like that, it was over. But in the post match, well, all four members of LIJ, which this could be considered the last time with Bushi and Naito together, all five of them, they did the unity fist bump on the air. And of course, Naito and Bushi left, but of course, Yota Tsuji says no matter where he goes, no matter where he and Bushi will be, there will always be Gordon Benables. So that sort of thing. But of course, the victory, the party did not stop. Apparently, someone, as you know, has their sights set on the global heavyweight championship, and that is Gabe Kidd. Now, Gabe Kidd often say that Yota Tsuji is full of crap. In his honest opinion, he feels that Yota Tsuji is not the star in the making that he is. That he's just full of it. But of course, Tsuji's not going to back down from someone like Gabe Kidd. So basically, we will see those two cross paths for that belt. So we'll see where that leads us to. But we'll stay close to that. Our main event, we have the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Cal Newman issue his first challenge against Hiroki Goto for this belt. I have to say, this match was more about Cal Newman trying to prove people wrong that yes, I belong in the heavyweight division to challenge for the top belt. Some people may say he's not ready for it. He probably wasn't ready for it. You know, people doubted the same thing about him when he became IWGP heavyweight tag team champion, not once but twice. But now he's making that play. However, of course, Hiroki Goto, being the toughest bastard that he is, he wasn't gonna back down no matter how young, of course, Cal Newman is. But it was the GTR that made the difference for Goto, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. However, of course, Goto has acknowledged that he won on a defense, but he is not an idiot. He knows he has targets on his back. He knows that there'll be people that want a piece of him for a shot of the belt. So it was more like, okay, who's next? And here comes, of course, the man he beat for the championship. That is, of course, Zack Sabre Jr. So basically, just like that, he issued his next challenge. But it turns out that he's not the only one. So is Shingo Takagi. So basically, Shingo is issuing the challenge, but he says whoever walks out between Goto and Zack, he'll face the winner of that match later on. So basically, it was a fair assumption. So basically, he's saying, well, this match is going to happen between the two of you. I get next. So he said he doesn't care who walks out as long as he gets a shot of the IWGP World Heavyweight title. So I have to say, Shingo, in my opinion, he made a good, proposition that doesn't make it more like, okay, we're gonna have a three-way. But this is the best way I have to say that he's done. So right now, I think we are done with New Japan, and we'll end it here. Move on with our last and final thing: news updates. All right, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin. Of course, we have two updates on the upcoming promotions. The first one we have is House of Glory. As you know, on May 9th, we have the Waging War event that will be taking place. The six-way cruiserweight championship will be defended. Infamous defends the belt against, of course, the base god Gringo Loco. So that's going to be an interesting match. And finally, Texas-based promotion Texas Wrestling Cartel will have their upcoming event on the 24th of May called Blood Money. They feature, of course, Izzy Moreno will be making her debut. Many of you may not know her. She is this young wrestler who is a fanatic. She has a YouTube channel. She has done interviews with wrestlers over the years. So she'll be making her debut on this show. So that's pretty much what we do know on that part. Now let's move on to some developments here. Tokyo Pro Wrestling has announced that there is a brand new referee making her debut. Well, that's right. There's going to be a female referee named Fuminin or something like that. She'll be making her debut next week. So that's interesting to hear that they will have a female ref. I mean, they had female refs before, but not in full-time positions. So it's interesting to see that. Fightful Select reports. Many of you remember her, Molly Grace, who, as you know, recently did a tour with Marigold. Well, it's just been announced that she is officially signed with TNA. So basically, she is now going to be in TNA. I'm very happy for her. I think many people thought because she was with Marigold, she'll go with WWE, but yeah, we'll see about that. An interesting development. Many of you know this during WrestleMania week. Fuego del Sol has lost to Acticus Cogar, and he removed his mask. And he doesn't go by Fuego del Sol anymore. He just revealed on his X account that Fuego is dead. Now goes by KJ Orzo. I don't know what that means, but yeah, that's pretty much the new name. Now, an interesting development, many of you know this, that Emi Soccer issued a challenge for the Super Asia Championship against her former student, Mei Shiruga. Well, apparently she unveiled a brand new Super Asia Championship, and this one will be rewarded at the winner of their match that will be taking place. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So can't wait to see it. Now, many of you know this. Recently, Sareee, or as we knew her back in NXT, Sareee, as you know, has been having a bit of a rivalry with a real life rivalry with Unagi or so of sorts. Basically, Sareee criticizes Unagi for certain things when it involved that match between Kairi Sane and Sayaka about 2 years ago or so. But yeah, that kind of leads to that. Uh, but this is what she heard this about what Unagi had to say about her. Let me pull it up real quick. This is what she said. Unagi seriously pisses me off. She talks about being a belt collector and how I don't contribute to the promotion. She'll never even properly held the belt in a Japanese promotion, and she only talks tough at the press. I don't need that from her. Unlike her, I always find new goals and strong opponents to fight against. It makes me wonder, what are you even in wrestling for? So basically, I mean, Suri should know Unagi is the type of person who likes to push people's buttons, which, of course, we've seen her. I mean, if you guys saw what she did, what Unagi did with Mio Shirai, Io Sky's sister, she actually got on her skin, when she hijacked the monitor at an Ice Ribbon show. So basically, that's the thing. I don't know what she would have expect. Now, many of you now know I mentioned this about Mayu Iwatani. As you know, she made her Marigold debut. Well, it was revealed that while the show that took place recently that we just reviewed, Io Sky, as you know, many of you may not know this, Io Sky and Mayu Iwatani used to be tag team partners known as Thunder Rock until Io betrayed her. And of course, Io sent her a bouquet of flowers on her debut match in Marigold. So most likely they will cross paths. Mayu did mention she would love to have a match with her, but also reunite with her as a tag team partner, which is very cool to hear. So hopefully we get that chance to see it. But however, her presence was not Mayu Iwatani's presence in Mighty Gold has not been, how to say, unnoticed. Utami Ashita feels now a bit of frustration now that Mayu is in Mighty Gold. And this is what she had to say, because apparently she wants to stop her from achieving her goal. And this is what she said. She talked about Grand Slam soon after joining the company. But even with Mayu joining, I will remain the ace of Mighty Gold. I have no intentions of changing the view that I see now as a champion. So even if she challenged me for the belt, I have no intentions of losing to Mayu. Besides, I have pride in support Mighty Gold since its inception. So I won't let her achieve Grand Slam so easily. I will prevent her from doing so forever. Well, as you know, I did mention it in the review with Mighty Gold. She Victoria Yuzuki Yuzuki um, nominated her as her opponent for the Superfly Championship. If she defeats her, she becomes champion, and of course she'll move on to the next belt. But many people haven't forgotten that Utami Ayashida was the one who defeated Mayu Iwatani for the red belt for the Wonder of Stardom Championship a few years ago. So that could be like a payback for that time, and this is more like it could happen. So we'll see how things will progress on that part. Now, many of you know this about the releases that happen with WWE. Well, many of you may have a fit about this because many of you would say that maybe Dave Meltzer, and I pardon my language, that he's a piece of shit. Now, half the times I would agree because he talks nonsense on certain things. I mean, people speculate. He even speculated that she's going to go to WWE as soon as, she left Stardom, but she ended up in MARIGOLD. Now she talks about the certain releases and certain things. So this is what she said, and I think many of you may not agree with him. You may call him a piece of shit. So this is what he said. Many of those cuts were perceived as not working hard in training, and if you don't work hard in training, there are many people who do. At this point, if the feeling you're not working hard in training, I saw terms lazy, the ones who are lazy gonna be gone, and the ones who didn't stand out are gonna be gone. Well, this thing, what he posted, well, did not go unnoticed. Gigi Dolan and Dakota Kai, Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade, well, they took offense to that. And I don't blame them. But sometimes we ask ourselves when it's Dave Meltzer, is his claim really that accurate? Like I said, he's a piece of shit. He thinks that's what he knows. But this is what Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade had to say. So let me put this out. Let me pull it up. Oh, here it is. Yeah. This is what Gigi Dolan said. When I wasn't traveling to work for either or of the two companies I was working, I trained hard 3-4 days a week, bumping my ass off doing cardio drills with one of the best, toughest coaches I've worked with. And I worked out every single day with live events every other weekend. So I don't want to hear this. Maybe the way my body feels says otherwise. Well, she doesn't agree what Meltzer said, and I have to say she is saying I've been working hard, which is true. But Cora Jade had something else to say. This plus can't forget having to go to the gym outside of work after strength conditioning. That wasn't doing anything for me other than get me my body shamed by bosses, coworkers, and fans. Crazy. So yeah, you know, the problem is this. We know these ladies work real hard. I don't know who else would agree with this, but yeah. So we'll see how things will progress with that. Now, recently, of course, because there's been talk recently about Dakota Kai. Many of you may know this. Dakota Kai has been interested in other companies. Now, Dave Meltzer, as probably I don't. Many of you will probably would say he's a piece of shit if you want, but he does have this. He singled out Dakota Kai that she should go to AEW. Now, this they said that AEW last time she was released was when went back in WWE. So this is what she said. This is what he said. When I saw the name, my first thought it was one that that AEW should try and take. I know the last time she got cut, I believe she was talking to AEW. I know she was talking to Stardom, and then she got called back and didn't go. I don't know the details, how deep the conversations were with AEW, but I could think that that one of those things were. We're ready to use her, and then ran. Then she ran right back, and that the kind of person we want to invest. that she went a straight back type of thing. Uh, all of the names were released. I think she's the one who would be the best percentage bet for AEW, but I don't know if what happened before it make a difficult or not. But she's good. So if so Dave Meltzer said that he heard that there's been talks. It's true that Dakota Kai was released once before and then she was called back. If there was talks between her and AEW, it would make sense. But I think the real question is, will AEW consider having her back? And I think that's the obvious question that many of us would ask. But we'll see what happens. I'm sure we will pay attention to more. We do know that her contract will expire after 90 days. So we'll just wait and see what happens. So we'll stay tuned for more on that. I'll put a pin on this one. So as of right now, let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode coming up. I haven't decided yet what I was going to do. I was considering maybe, just maybe, doing a Yoshi episode, which I'm sure many of you like. I need to catch up with Stardom and a few other of Yoshi wrestling promotions that I might have missed out from much of last month and probably starting this month. But we'll see how things will go from there. So um, we'll see. So at this moment, I'll say this, that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day.